welcome to the installation of the front pony LED. First, make sure you figure out which lights you have. There's type 1 and type 2. How do you know? You see these lines coming down? That's type 1, the more advanced version. Type 2 will not have this. Commonly found in Select and California Route 1 model. Figure which one of those out, and I'll tell you why shortly. All right, so all you need to remove is your hands and basically the left side of the screen. You need a really long flathead screwdriver, and you need a 10mm socket to remove all the bolts. And then you're also going to need a flathead screwdriver. Also some trim removal kits. And you're going to need a 1/4 drill bit that you don't see here, but you'll also need that. On the right hand side, optional tools. Obviously you need the drill bit, so you need the drill, but everything else you can do hand manually. So if you have a divider, you don't have to take it all out. You can leave it in because we're going to take the entire frunk out at the same time. Watch. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to take out the trims. Trims you lift. So I already popped off a few, but I have a couple more to go. This side comes off. One. Set this aside. Sometimes you may have clips that have fallen out. Make sure you reinstall them back. Double check if there's any existing clips that's been left. For example, I have one here. Just turn it 90 degrees and lift it up. Same thing here, 90 degrees, turn and lift up. You take these back out because we need them. Don't put them aside. That's just laziness. Reinstall it back onto the trim piece and you should be good. Now we're going to take the side pieces. We're going to go ahead and come over here and show you the side pieces a little bit better. So with these, you can get a little trim removal tool. Get a little better interior clips to disengage. So sometimes it's better just to grab it, have it up, off. Put it aside. Once you have that out, I put my tool on, and then this. What I tend to do is I like to just go start from the top, and then just pull straight up. And then you're gonna work your way down. So this part right here, lift as well. And then you're gonna work your way with your hands in. And you're gonna slowly get to the front. So once you get to the front, right here, I'm gonna make sure we disengage these. This will pop off. And then I work my way back toward this angle. So here again, I'm gonna lift here now. And then once you have it, I'll slide it nicely. And then move it to the side. Similar to what we just did, check clips. Make sure all the clips are off. You don't have any stragglers. Haha. Straggler. Remember, turn 90 degrees, lift. And that's how you remove the right side. Guess what? We're gonna do the same on the left side. Less talking, more doing.
I'm gonna video this side too.
No. Okay. So similarly, we're gonna go ahead and disengage this clip. Clip off, put it to the side, and then pull, lift, work my way around this, my hands in, lift, lift. Then once you get to the closer part down here, we're gonna go ahead and lift. Then work our way back up. And then most of it should be up except for the top one. We slide it back off. This one we're gonna move on this side since it's on this side of the car. Double check to see all the clips are off. They look like they're all off to me. This is good. Next piece, we have to take off the trim. So this piece has to come off. All we have to do is using our hands in here, just lift. Comes off just like that. Make sure all the clips are with us. Yes, they are. Put this aside. So now we have to take off the frunk. How do we take off the frunk? We have to remove these bolts here. 1, 2, and there are ones hidden inside the panel. How do you get the ones inside the panel? We're gonna go ahead and use our trim removal kit. Get a little closer and zoom in on the removal. Let's see if I can get a better shot. There. Okay, so on the left side is what I'm looking at right now. And on the left side, we're gonna put our trim removal kit in between the slots. Get a little bit of separation and then work our way around. If you do it correctly, you should be able to get edges and pop off. Just like that. Put these aside. I'm gonna do the same thing on the bottom part. This one, you're gonna have to see if you can wedge it in between this slot here. If you have the right tools, you should be able to lift and lift up, comes off. And guess what? We are gonna be doing the same thing to the right side. And we're gonna come in here, get in this little trim, pop it off, and then come in here as well. Get in this little slot. And these two come off just like that. The reason why we're taking off the trim is because underneath the trims, there are bolts. So like I said, there is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. And we'll back up. Lift this up. Because I'm going to show you that once again, the bolts are 1 down here, 2 down here, 3, 4 on the right, and then it's the equivalent on the left, and you have to take these 2 in the front. So we're gonna go ahead and put on our 10 millimeter. So you can go double check. 10 millimeter is in there. So having a 10 millimeter is really helpful. Having power tools is really helpful. So 10 millimeters. And go in and start loosening out the bolts. Gloves ready. Put these aside. Go ahead and take these on this side as well. And this one up. Right, take these 2 out. Depending on your angle and your power tool, you may have to readjust to a different one that's a little longer. So for me, let's see. have to come in here. A little dark. You guys gotta take my word that I'm removing it. I have this gone. You know what? And then I'm gonna go ahead and take a flashlight. So I do want to show you that, of course, I'm not making this up. And there are some bolts down there that I am removing. Let's come in here really closely. So there's one more right here. You'll see my tool. Now that I have a little bit of lighting, you can see what I'm doing. Off. And then I come to my right side. I'm gonna do the same thing. But this time you can see it better. Let's see, there it is. Get out of the way. One. And then let's go ahead and make the lighting better. And here's number 2. Both out. So let's take this off. So now I have all 6 to the side. And then lastly, remember I told you that there is these front over here, right in the front. Don't forget these. Some of the newer models, I think, may not have it. Yours may vary, but this one does. We're gonna go ahead and remove these as well. All right, like with anything we do, always put these in a safe area so you know exactly where they're at. This is gone now. So all this is now completely disengaged, allowing us to remove the frunk, which is what I'm gonna do. Keep in mind with removing the frunk, you have to disconnect the power right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift this up momentarily and show you that right here, there's a power. 2, 1, 2. Gotta slide them off. And just like that, your frunk is out of your vehicle. All right, now we're gonna stop because we have to explore. Are we gonna be pursuing method number 1 in terms of the headlights only to turn it on, or method number 2? Think about that while we remove the pony. Okay, by now, you should have this little access area, and we're going to be removing these bolts here to allow our hands to fit here a little bit more flexible. What you're intending to do is you need to get this long flathead screwdriver to go all the way here where there's a star clip that's holding onto the pony. You got to get it in between. There's going to be 4 of these. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. And then trust me when I say this right here is 4. I'm going to show you an even closer look of what I'm talking about. Before you can slide in and remove the pony, you really do need to remove these bolts up here as well. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go ahead and grab our tools and remove those bolts. And there are also 10mm, which is why it's good to have the 10mm available and ready with you. So go ahead and take these off. You might be asking, why am I removing this? Because this trim is a lot more forgiving once you remove it. So there's a little bit more give here. See that? There's a little bit more give, allowing you to slide your hand, because you're going to have to slide your hand in here at some point. We're going to go ahead and remove the pony now. To remove your pony, you're going to slide your hand on the back side and just push on those pins, and it should come off just like that. Voila. All right, so pony's off. I guess there's only one thing to do. Clean off this area first and foremost, because there's probably never been cleaned ever. Understandably, because it's been on there the whole time. But now that we have it off, we're going to wipe it down, and then we're going to reinstall or install the new pony. Wipe this sucker down, all the dirt, the crevices. Make sure this area is nice and clean and prepped for our new pony. All right, so you're gonna see the following 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is not a hole, so don't count that as a hole. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This hole is gonna be used to route your cabling. So one of the things that we tend to do, you don't have to, I highly advise you to, is to take out a 1/4 drill bit, like so. 1/4 drill bit. Stick a little bit of tape at the top end. Why are we doing this? Because we don't want to make sure we're drilling too far in. We're going to go ahead and make this hole bigger. So this 1/4 allows us to get a little bit bigger. Okay. What it's going to do is that when we install, so just enough plastic is removed, it's going to allow our pony and the cabling to route a lot better, so it's not as tight and just with more room. And then next step, let's put the pony in. New pony. What? All right, so this pony has a single wire connector that's 2 pins that goes through. So once you drill it, you don't have to, you can try to finesse it, but if you do drill like me, it's gonna make it a lot easier. Look at this, right in. And there is this tape that we're not taking off yet. We will, but not yet, because we want to route this through and then make sure everything lines up. And pony's in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pony's good. Connect to the headlights now. And I'm gonna show you that right now. All right, the next step we're gonna do is go ahead and disengage the headlights, which is right here. So with your hands, you should be able to push down and pull, and it'll slide off, just like that. So again, push down and slide off. And with our harness, what you're gonna do is plug in female and male. So we're gonna take the original, we're gonna plug it in. How do you know which part is which part? You see this top, it aligns. So there's a little top part here. So this is the top that clicks in. You heard the click, I heard it. And then this part goes into your headlights. So I heard it clicked again. And now this is what you call the Y harness, because there's extra connectors that will connect back to the pony in just a second. But first, we need to install our surge protector box, which also helps power the pony. This will prevent your pony from having an excessive amount of power delivered in the event of any software updates. So we're going to show you how to put this in together. you'll notice that this yellow wire is currently connected, and you are going to leave it connected if you desire to use method number 1, which is the headlight installation, where you turn on your low beams and it'll turn on your pony. So we're going to go ahead and grab the connector here, right? And we're going to align it like such. And there's really, you shouldn't be able to mess it up because the other connector is only a 2-pin. Go ahead and connect. Snaps in place. We're going to conceal this in a minute. You're going to go ahead and inevitably route this wire down to your pony. So the methodology that I would desire to go through is trying to route underneath here. But you can, up to you how you want to do this. At the end of the day, there's really no wrong way to reroute how your pony, but your module is going to live down underneath your headlights. You're going to go ahead and grab your pony harness, and if you do it correctly, this is your pony harness right here. Let me go ahead and I lifted my pony harness up. I'm going to continue routing this up and underneath. And this is my path of travel, which will lead me to these 2 connectors. Just like that. Okay. So by now, everything is installed. And using this methodology, this is method number 1 for type 1 or type 2. It doesn't matter because this is the easy, legitimately plug and play. And with that, let's take a look at the results. So of course, before we completely install everything, double check. So I'm going to ask that our owner, Fernando, turn on his low beams. Voila. So I'm going to turn off the lights. So you can see exactly how bright it is. So that's method number 1. I really like the results. Method number 1. So now that we tested the pony and is up and working, you're going to go ahead and remove the backing, the film here. Whew, it's lit. And slide it back in. Now, the tape isn't the sole source of holding the pony, so don't worry about it, because I've included in your kit the star locks, the same star lock that we used to remove for the original pony. And I'm going to show you how to put them on. So, pretty straightforward. Star locks, you're going to have the side that's concave out. You're going to go ahead and push this into the knobs, the stems, and you're going to go as far as you can. So I gave you 4. In the event you drop one, like I just did right now, you'll have still 3 others. Let's do this. Slide my hands. And I'm going to warn you that this may be a little bit challenging, but you got to slide your hands in here. And then you're going to navigate into these knobs or the stems. So what you're going to do is slide your hands in with the star and feel it going in. You're not going to be able to see anything. Just going to push it all the way as far as you can. And that's what's really holding these. So that's 1.
Let me use your little snake camera.
Oh, that's a good idea. No, it's okay. I mean, I don't really think that this part is more or less, you're not going to be able to see too much. More or less self-explanatory. But once we put it on, I think the intent is that you'll see that it's exactly like what it was when we removed it. And then we'll probably use the snake camera afterward to show the result, because that's probably a lot easier at that point.
You got a new gadget, it's useful.
Yeah. And then you have to switch hands to go on this side. Or you basically have to come on this side and reach all the way across. And we're all set. Let's go ahead and bring in our gadget tool and take a look.
I'm trying to figure out which goes which.